I know, another scene analysis from the master. But this is going to be the last one. I think.
You need to shut up.
You've maybe noticed me talking a lot about revealing character when I talk about scenes from the master. That's because a lot of the scenes I really like from the master seem to predominantly serve that purpose. They might not have a pivotal role in the progression of the plot, but they manage to portray the characters in interesting ways, or show us them in situations that reveal a key aspect of who they are.
How did you come to have sex with your auntie birthday?
I was drunk and she looked good.
Oh, snap!
Sometimes disguised as a simple incident. Such as the incident that Freddie Quell has when working as a photographer at a department store. He basically keeps pushing this man until they end up in a fight, and then Freddie storms away throwing whatever he can grab across the room. This might actually be my favourite scene from the whole film. The way the scene progresses, the blocking and movement of the characters, the movement of the camera, the feeling I get watching it, it just all works perfectly together. One of my favourite things about the scene is that it seems like something that might get criticised during feedback rounds, as it's not essential to the story. You might consider the scene unnecessary in terms of progressing the plot, since you could technically remove it and still reach the necessary plot points of the story. In fact, this could be said for most of the start of the film up until Freddie meets Lancaster. Sorry, but Lancaster in those red PJs is fucking hilarious to me. But this section tells us so much about Freddie that it would be reckless to remove it. In this scene in particular, you become aware of his unpredictability. You want to see what he does next. You want to see him break the rules, social norms, workplace etiquette, basic decency.
Did you just double dip that chip? Excuse me? You double dipped the chip!
If you were to watch this moment in isolation, it just seems like erratic, aggressive behavior that gets him fired. But we've already seen him in this role, and he's actually quite good at the job. He plays the normal, decent photographer quite well.
But the moon is low.
But we also see after that how he later fools around with one of the women working as a model at the department store. He asks her out and falls asleep during their date, most likely as a result of consuming too much of one of his chemical concoctions. Yo, that's also hilarious.
Fatality.
But now we begin the scene understanding that he may feel disappointment, embarrassment, or shame for having blown his chance with her. It seems to be this discomfort in what he's feeling, combined with his lack of a toolkit to manage these emotions or rectify the situation, that lead him to act out. He wants to unleash his frustration, and yet he has to act cordial, take this guy's picture and make small talk. I mean, you can see in his face and his behavior the distaste that Freddie has for being in this situation. Now what's interesting is that once Freddie gets to unleash his frustration, he then seems to be reinvigorated. He even takes the woman from the department store by the hand and seemingly leaves with her. Now, we don't have any reason to believe that this lasted any amount of time, but it's interesting that after this altercation, he has the confidence to leave with her, even though just before that, he seemed to be stewing in his own self-loathing. It's not like he even won the altercation. He got knocked on his ass.
You got knocked the fuck out!
But it's clear that this kind of stimulation excites him and gives him joy for life. In that sense, I think the scene is kind of a fundamental rejection of a typical way of life. As soon as things get difficult emotionally, Freddie can't handle the situation. He gets bored easily, he gets high and drunk and fucks things up. Again, we can refer back to how often he seems to represent the more primitive desires of man. He wants cheap thrills and action. His character also displays a disconnect between how he feels internally and how he has to act externally in order to fit into society, which is a pretty relatable feeling. We all have to do this to varying degrees in different situations. We know how it feels to suppress our actual feelings and instincts in order to be a functioning member of society, which is why it's so satisfying to see Freddie break free from this in this scene.
You can do anything! Anything's possible!
This is the most immediate satisfaction you get from watching the scene, I think. It's also just enjoyable to watch because it kind of unfolds like free jazz. He himself doesn't seem to know where his behavior is taking him. He's just rolling with it. He might not know which note he'll play next, but he knows what he feels like doing. And it's really fun to watch not knowing what rule he'll break next. You genuinely don't know if he's going to try beat the shit out of this guy or destroy more goods or go after someone else. The unpredictability is captivating.
Nobody wants a wild card, okay? It doesn't make any sense. We don't want a maniac in our group, but there's no benefit to it.
This is definitely something to consider for your own films. If you want to make an erratic film, make your characters erratic. Don't force your ideas of an erratic story on otherwise normal characters. Let your characters be the energy you want for the film, and they'll naturally create that story through the decisions they make. Simply put them in situations that allow them to make those decisions. And I think adherence to social norms in general is so telling of a character's inner world. You can reveal so much about a character by putting them in a situation where they could break social norms or etiquette and watching how they behave. Like Freddie seems to completely disregard them in this scene. And this is so compelling because most people are pretending to want to abide by the social code. Given the opportunity to break the rules and not suffer the consequences, most people would do it.
Are you sure this is legal?
I don't know. It's fun though, isn't it?
Which makes it even more fascinating if someone doesn't do that, or if they do it knowing they'll suffer the consequences. It says so much about a person's mindset and values. And one step deeper is how they handle emotional distress. You can observe so much about a person and how they act in moments of great discomfort and distress. In what way do they react? Do they shut down? Do they act out? All of these choices reveal layers of a character, how emotionally volatile they are, how much they adjust themselves to suit the environment around them. And the best thing is you can seamlessly integrate this into the plot. You simply need this situation to be something that's already naturally moving the plot forward. For example, in this case, although we're not aware of it at the time, Freddie's outburst here and his getting fired is pushing him along the path to meeting Lancaster. So during this journey, although maybe not every detail we're shown is essential to the plot, it is moving the plot forward as it's revealing character to us. This is extremely effective storytelling. This is something you should study closely if you want to create films that are concurrently captivating and rich with depth. That's all for this analysis. Thanks for listening, and see you soon.
Turn that poop into what? Turn that poop into what?